Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lydia here with your new moon reading in Leo for August 4th, 2024. And wow, we have basically been being bombarded by lots and lots of energies. We are at this time also in the 8-8 portal energies, and we started from July 26th. That's basically going through right until about August 12th. But the energies, you get to feel those energies even before and after this time period. It's so potent. And because of the fact that the planetary aspects that are happening at this moment were basically August 4th, that around that time we've got Mercury going into retrograde throughout the entire month of August as well. So that's probably also one of those things that are an integral part of making the energies as high as they are, as well as other aspects like check it out in your astrological readings for Mars and how Venus and Jupiter, Pluto and Saturn are also taking in some interesting energies. And basically, with the culmination, with the alignments of each of these planets, we're really, really ramping up the energies this month. So having said that, this new moon is also just at the cusp of the very beginning of the Leo 8-8 portal. Plus we've got the increasing time period between now and when the eclipse season begins, which is actually in the fall, and we're feeling it. We're certainly feeling it even before this eclipse begins, or the first eclipse begins. And so, having said that, the moons that are coming up, so the full moons and the new moons, are very integral in our evolutionary status, our consciousness, and how everything is going to be aligning for us as we move forward into the new year. And knowing that they're very potent. So what does a new moon mean? New moons are the new cycle. So it's about what is it that we want to see in our lives that will increase our creative projects, or increase our creativity for this next month. And coming up into the full moon, both are to do also with letting go or bringing in. So in all senses of the word, we need to let go of things that no longer serve us, and so that we can also make room for the new to come in. And at this particular new moon, it's a very, very big one. And knowing that Leo, this time period as well, is also about loving, playfulness, passionate, very bold as well, and flashy. So knowing that that's the case, then it's basically boldening our energy on the inside. It is a time to also look at where you can be the leader for something, the leader of your own self, your own temple. Could be also part of this as well, especially for a Mercury in retrograde. We're in this contemplative part of ourselves, and it's interesting because Mercury in retrograde is not a bad thing. It's in fact a very good thing if you look at it on this on the flip side of things. Yes, it could cause electrical and magnetic disturbances, and our electronics can be very affected by it. So just be on the safe side by backing up anything and everything that you have, whether it be on your computer, your tablet, your phone. But also the fact is that it is a time where we have the opportunity to look back at certain circumstances that we cannot live over again, but we can see the valuable lessons that we can learn from them. And so this could be in fact, at this time too, because of the beginnings and endings. So this is the beginning of something. We are also, we're also ending a certain cycle to begin a new one. That said, there's possibilities of ending relationships as well. And that could be any relationships. It could be romantic, it could be in your workplace, it could be just acquaintances, it could be very long-term, or even family related. So just keep these things in mind as well, and just know that everything is happening for your highest good. It's not happening to you as a something like in your face. It's basically happening for you to learn from. And also the fact that everybody is on their own journey. So it means that certain people might actually be, maybe not aligning with you anymore or resonating in the same capacity, just because you've changed in your consciousness, they've changed in their consciousness, and they or yourself are advancing at your own pace. So just keep these things in mind. They're not bad things. It's just the way it is at this time. And just allow these things to occur. Having said that too, I know that many have said that basically in Mercury in retrograde, it might be a time to really look at legal documents and kind of dotting your I's, crossing your T's, looking at the fine print before you sign. And if you take the time to look at these things, maybe also take the time to kind of stretch it out for as long as you can to sign something. Just looking at that as an option. I know that happens usually in most Mercury retrogrades, but at this time too, because the energies are really, really high, you might have to do a little bit more discerning in that. And discerning is definitely something that we have to do, especially in the media. We've got to just basically turn off your TV or any social media that actually is bringing up anybody else's opinions, strong opinions and biases. There's a lot of separation that I'm feeling that we're going to have to mend. And take the time, especially with the 8-8 portal to the Lionsgate 8-8 portal, to allow yourself to take part in ceremony if you can. Be a part of the energies that are coming in through the portal, so that it's advancing us in our consciousness. Having said that, between this time and probably within a week after, so August 12th is kind of when it's opened. The time period between July 26th and August 12th is a time period where it's pretty bold. So that the Lionsgate portal is bold, it's open, it's very potent. But beforehand, as well as after, is a time period as well that's going to be you're going to be feeling the energies of that too. And in that small gate, allow yourself to be in and with spirit. Be as much as you can within a ceremony or in meditation, in oneness with nature and with spirit, as much as you possibly can on a daily basis. At this time too, I know I've been feeling a lot more tired lately, and I think we're also getting a lot of downloads. A lot of energy is coming in because we are changing once again. And in this time, we can probably focus on not only ourselves and bringing love within ourselves, but also sending it out into the world, sending love, peace, joy, grace into the world. And whatever we are feeling, if we have this feeling of just feeling awful or gucky or whatever, if we feel funny, take the time for yourself, even to just take a moment to breathe for 5 minutes if you're able to, or even 5 breaths, nice deep breaths, belly breaths. And as you're doing that, focus on the love energy and compassionate energy building in your stomach and into your lungs. And then as you breathe out all that stuff that you don't need. So breathing out from even not only from this lifetime, from the past lifetimes, focusing on the intent of letting go of everything that no longer serves you. And take the time when you need to rest, because this will be a time that you will be definitely bringing in a lot of energies, especially through the portal, and feeling that that upgrade. And every one of us feels it differently. So any symptoms that you might have that are unexplainable, just take a breath, take some rest, and notice these things. Notice them, go within, find out what the difficulties might be with your body. Make sure that you're giving some time to your body. So let's get into the new moon reading. So we're using the Starcode Astro Oracle by Heather Roan Robbins. And I've picked 3 cards and we're going to go through them together. So the first card I've got is Ceres, Nurture. And oh my goodness, is that ever beautiful. We're definitely at this time, we're having to nurture ourselves. And not only ourselves, but we're also nurturing the parts of us that inner child. So this might also allude to inner child work and recognizing that not only do we need to apply self-care where needed, to bring in the nurturing sides of ourselves, not only for ourselves, but for those around us and for the earth. What we're also recognizing that it's nurturing that needs to be happening throughout the world. Like it's so big right now that if we can actually give our nurturing nature to any and all who is out there, any sentient beings, this would be the most perfect time for that. And so I'm going to read from the guidebook. I normally wouldn't bother with that, but basically through the star codes, there's a lot in here that I'm sure you would get a benefit from. So Ceres, Nurture. Ceres is a dwarf planet between Mars and Jupiter, named after Ceres, Roman goddess of the harvest, food, earthy fertility, and mother of Proserpina, goddess of the spring. So this is something perfect timing too, because we're just before our fall time of the fall harvest. So interesting that this comes up. When Pluto kidnapped Proserpina and took her to the underworld to be his queen, Ceres threatened to starve the world until she was returned. Ceres signifies our relationship to food, for better or worse, cultivation, and the safety or loss of a child. Ceres's ancient rites initiated people into the secrets of death and rebirth through the symbolic harvest, cutting the heads off of grain with a scythe, bury them, and new life arises. The other thing to keep in mind too is the fact that this is a time too that we're with the alignment of the planets, including Ceres as well, and look at the astrology to see where Ceres fits in this particular time period. But there is going to be also, because of the time period, there is the potential for looking at what could be happening, whether it's good or bad, whatever you look at in our food supply. So it's definitely something that is alluding to watching how our food supply is being handled. So the action here: mother and be mothered. Nurture and cultivate that which is growing, whether it's the harvest from the earth, the child from the womb, or the art from the artist. And so this is, again, the creativity that they're talking about. Real love can mean tough love, doing what's best for your beloved, even if they hate you for it. Again, this is exercising personal boundaries, and that's another big thing for this time period as well. Love and nurture your own body, and with healthy, whole foods, taking them as communion with the organic world. So as much as you can, and that's what I was saying, really watch how you're taking care of your body, whether that means rest and sleep as well. Feel the earth beneath you, holding you, loving you through the hard times. Let this abundance flow through you and to others. So advocate for those who are weaker, vulnerable, or dependent. If your progeny, your project, or your harvest is being taken from you before ripening, be ready to starve the world until they are safe. Witness with strength and power. And knowing that this is also taking back your power, basically recognizing your own power exists. You do have a lot of strength. It's building throughout this entire year, or this entire lifetime, because of the fact that you are continually building every time you reach a challenge. You're okay for anything that comes to you. So that's what this is basically saying, is that you are okay and the universe has your back. When the time is right, you're willing to let go. For your progeny or creation to flourish, they must embark on their own journey. And this is that also letting go of anything that no longer serves you. And in that sense, It's also a completion. So, for example, you could have children that are grown up that are leaving the nest, and it's, especially since we're heading into the fall pretty soon, university starting again, and or high schools or schools in general. It's just knowing that you've recognized that you've taught your kids the morals and whatnot, and just letting them be, letting them embark on their own journey. Once your job as a nurturer is complete, let go and step into the next level of your own mastery. And this is taking care of yourself as well, so that noticing that you've let your children kind of go and do their thing, but also taking care of yourself. You're still there. You're still a support. You're still the parent. But it's just also recognizing that you'll have a little bit more time for yourself to be able to deal with you. And that could mean the nurturing part, where it is looking at the inner child, finding out what is it that could be influencing this particular time, or influencing any circumstances that you're looking at with a different perspective. So if you're seeing something, and especially with relationships, if you're finding that some relationships are difficult or becoming more difficult at this time, then look at them carefully. Take a look at maybe where this might have originated, whether it was in this lifetime, it could have been in another, and that could be some deep investigation and meditation. But just knowing too that this could actually formulate, especially with the Leo energy, this could formulate new relationships and interesting relationships, some that could deepen and feel really wonderful, and that could also be in addition to romance. So in this gift, there's a sacredness in your daily life. Feeding, loving, nurturing, gardening, and being in family, whether chosen or biological, are all part of the powerful spiritual path, and the mother holds you. So mother meaning Mother Gaia holds you into in her being. So nurturing is an important part, especially when we have this nurturing part of us, our nurturing energy, and it's not just feminine, because that's what originally, that was the traditional way of looking at it. But basically this is a masculine too. It's a balancing between the divine feminine and masculine at this particular time, especially when it comes to that nurturing aspect. But it also has to do with the Aquarian energy. So we are moving more and more into the age of Aquarius, and that said, that is a nurturing part. That's a balance, a more when I say balance, it's a unity or a Unitarian type of energy that and also for the people rather than top-down structures. So let's look at the next card and see where we're at once again. So Scorpio, investigate. Okay, so as we can tell there, this Scorpio is the Scorpion, and when I look at the Scorpion and I think about this, the Scorpion has a lot of interesting qualities, especially when it comes to the stinging part. However, there's a part where they're curious. Like basically, this is looking at the curiosity, and also how we need to also discern what is real and what is not. And this will probably become even that much more of a suitable energy that we need to look at between now and 6 months from now. And I kind of see it as that, because there's going to be a lot thrown at us in the global arena, and we're going to have to discern whether or not it's real or not, or how does it reflect upon us in that sense. So investigate your options as well, so that if it turns out you're looking into a particular vocation, or I'd say job, but I want to say more so career and or passion project, look into it a little bit more. Investigate if there's travel involved. Look into investigate into it a little bit further. In other words, dig deeper than just what's on the surface. So I'll read this as well. Scorpio asks you to dive down and reach into the wellspring of your soul. Scorpio's symbols are the eagle and the scorpion, as this sign invokes both the soaring highs or heights of the eagle's perspective and the scorpion's ability to burrow under the rocks of the psyche or culture. Again, deep down, inner child work, lots of inner work. And again, that's what Mercury in retrograde always kind of spurs. So the fixed water sign Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and Mars is very incredible right now in traditional astrology and co-ruled by Pluto in modern astrology. It is connected to the pelvis and to the root chakra. The sun shines through this October 22nd through November 21st. And we are in this energy that's also eclipse kind of time period as well. So we start the eclipse period. So I do see that we're kind of getting the precursor of the energies in that time period. The action here: drop assumptions and ask questions. Be fascinated by a mystery. Dive deep into the well rather than settling for the surface. Look under rocks and be curious, as this situation is going to require some research. Take nothing at face value. Probe the conscious and unconscious passions that motivate the situation. Beware of the sexual dynamics in the room and what role they play, and that's also a Leo energy. Look at worst case scenarios so that you can prepare, and then feel safe enough to search for the best case scenarios. Be ready to transform and transmute the situation. Distill the essence. Concentrate. So the other thing too about investigating, kind of allows you to focus on one aspect or a certain topic that you're looking at. And that's also part of the meditation aspect of things too. It focuses or allows you to learn how to focus a little bit better than what maybe you might not have done before, and continues to hone your focus and concentration. Play your cards close to your chest. It's time to gather information. Get the facts, work with that material, and introspect. Listen to both the facts and to your own intuition rather than to other people's opinions. And this is where that bias comes in. If you're listening to the media that's out there, anyways, if you've noticed over years, anyways, if you've actually looked at the news before, there is a bias. There's a movement towards the tragic and or the most difficult and most challenging part of the situation that's being reviewed. And it's not necessarily all about that. Look at both sides of the story and see and discern for yourself what the positives are in there, because there are positives. And that's also listening to your intuition. What does your intuition tell you? Share only when you are ready. Appreciate moments alone. If you learn to be comfortable alone, you will have more bargaining power in relationships. And that's too. It's true. If we are by ourselves, and it could very well mean that we either live on our own, or you are finding yourself feeling alone through the separation or divorce of a relationship, and or just an empty nester at this time, or whatever the case may be. You get to learn more about yourself, and that is a time period where it's golden. It's golden to learn about yourself and to be okay with yourself. Within the depths of your soul is your connection to the infinite. Search for it. And so I like this too. It's just recognizing the fact that this is saying to literally question everything that you see. And this is the energy that is coming up, being discerning, exercising your personal boundaries where needed. So very, very important. So, and I say this, I can't say this enough, is just use your intuition to know what is truth, what resonates with you, and you will feel it. It will just be a feeling of truth, and what is not. And where there is no truth, or where there is no option for truth, then integrity lacks. So this is that quest for integrity as well. And I think we are moving more and more as a humanity is in our consciousness toward that with integrity, rather than that is untruth or dishonest. So a gift for this is transformation. This Scorpio loans you the strength and curiosity to plumb the depths and face your monsters, then soar to new heights and transform the situation. Eagle view. Feel the well within that connects to the collective source. This is that unity. So we are moving towards more of a unity consciousness in the first place. Especially with every portal that is opening up. This Lionsgate portal is a very big one too. Ooh, I get chills when I think about it. we are really moving forward as a collective in our consciousness. And again, I can't say that high enough or fast enough or hard enough, because basically we are moving so fast in our consciousness level. And that's when we allow it, when we're allowing that energy to come through, it's an important part for us to raise our evolutionary consciousness. As we're doing this, we are seeing from different perspectives. It's almost as though you have to see from a different perspective, just because you're changing things. So at this particular time, you're recognizing the compassion within you, the human part within you, but also the divine, that part where spirit is actually activating so much about you that is part of the divine, that is aligning with the divine. So having said that, let's look at the next one. Aquarius collaborate. So I find this very interesting too, because we are collaborating with so many different people at this time in a unity consciousness. Collaborating with others too kind of allows you to move forward in projects, creative projects, your career projects, relationships, with a little bit more ease. So in other words, you're feeling a little bit more peaceful as things align. And I like this just because when we, as a collective, become more unity oriented, then we also have a harmonious or a better and more harmonious relationship with each other. So reading this, the symbol for Aquarius is not water, but the water bearer, the person fetching, carrying, and pouring the water, who provides a great service to the community. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn in traditional astrology, co-ruled by Uranus in modern astrology, and is connected to the ankles, which we use to turn from one person to another in conversation. The sun shines through this January 21st to February 20th. We know that. So action. Live by your philosophy. Aquarius' traditional ruler Saturn asks us to know what society expects of us and to care about our reputation. And that's exercising your boundaries, recognizing that if you are being bulldozed and or taken advantage of, this is the time to take back your power and stand in your power. However, Aquarius' co-ruler Uranus encourages us to free ourselves from tradition or others' opinions and be able to think outside the box. And that's a very creative aspect of Aquarius as well. So yes, this can feel like a paradox, but it offers a healthy tension to manifest the true you. Know the pattern and riff on it, and with your own invention. So again, your collective creativity. To get to this free place, investigate your philosophy, which is your operating manual, to make sure that it's alive and authentic. When you feel your worldview and your actions are integrated, it's easier to call in healthy collaborators. And I know that's sometimes we're not always feeling even keel to bring in or ask for other people's help. But at the same time, this is one of those times where if you do and you feel like you do need to ask for help, then use your intuition to know the right people to ask. Cultivate allies. Find others called by the same causes and work together. Weave people together to create a community, and this is a big thing too. Is creating communities right now. Like-minded communities are very important, especially at a time like this too. If you want to meditate with others and or call in peaceful and harmonious energies into the world, it's so good to do it with others. This web will bring in new friendships, purpose, and connections, which may lead to romantic sparks. Throughout the process, consciously maintain a balance between your own needs and those of the collective. This is, I'd have to say that specifically just knowing your own needs and those of the collective, it's basically putting yourself first, because you're the best, you shine the best when you put yourself first. It's an important thing to actually put yourself first. And that's not the selfish part. That's not being selfish. When you're saying that you're going to take care of certain aspects of yourself, whether it's self-care or nurturing, like the first, as well as just saying, okay, I need to just get myself afloat here. Maybe that's about security, whether it's financial security, job security, whatever the case is. I want to get myself to a good position before I can actually offer anything to other people. You're exercising that part of yourself that needs to be in good, healthy boundaries, but also recognizing that you need to do that first before you can actually adequately and more largely give to others. The energy within yourself, like, you can't give from an empty cup, right? So this is that reassurance or assurance about it. The authentic Aquarius gift, so a gift for this, encourages you to let go of previous constructs and listen to the source within. Honor the reality that you are a unique individual, but you also have a responsibility to contribute to the health of your community. And that just means when you contribute to your own health first, then you are adequately filling your cup so that you can help others a lot better. That said, spiritual practices, especially when it comes to whatever it is, dropping down into your heart and recognizing the love, the amazing compassion that we have as single beings, as well as the unity of beings, is an important part. This is whenever we're bringing in that love, that unconditional love for others, that we recognize that there's separation out there, and recognize that there are specific borders, boundaries, whatever you want to call it, but at the same time trying to create a seam within those boundaries, trying to recognize everybody is unique and everybody has their differences, but at the same time we are still one on the inside. Each and every one of us can contribute to the world. Our unique gifts our contribution to the world, that not one person has something over another, that we are equal in that sense. Once we recognize that, we are bringing back grace and basically any part of us, that we're bringing back that oneness, that divine oneness. So let's take a look at this again. We have series nurture, so nurturing ourselves at this time, and nurturing ourselves first before others, and or recognizing that we have to be part of that nurturing self, especially when it comes to kids. But also seeing that that might mean going in deep. That might mean digging down into the deep within ourselves in order to nurture that base part of us before we can change everything. And we're at this point where we can actually change not only what's within us at this time, in this time period, this lifetime, but also in all lifetimes that we've lived. We've got Scorpio investigate, and so we're heading into Scorpio season the next couple months, and knowing that this is about discerning things that are coming to you, recognizing that there are some untruths, there are some things that are out there that you really do have to make sure that you use your intuition. And it's going to become more and more apparent that we will have to use our intuition more. So that means honing it, recognizing and resonating with what does resonate with you, allowing yourself to dig deep into research. And research it first. Don't just take everything for face value, especially as we're going into the fall. There will be global things that will come up that you will have to look into yourself. Don't just take it from the quote unquote experts. Make sure that you become the expert of this and recognize what is real and what is not. And then we've got Aquarius, collaborate. Knowing that the Aquarians or Aquarius energy brings in Unitarianism. For some reason I'm losing, this must be Mercury in retrograde. I'm losing the thought of what it is. But basically collaborating and recognizing that accommodating other people's information into yours. But again, exercising personal boundaries, also resonating what resonates with you in your intuition, knowing that you can create this unified consciousness by also collaborating with others, bringing in communities, bringing in your piece to the community, because everyone does have a piece to contribute. And the more we recognize that, and also looking at the more we recognize that we're going to be looking at a higher level of perspective. We're going to be looking from the divine perspective. And that's what's being asked of us in this evolutionary consciousness that is expanding, like, without, just skyrocketing. We are in need of looking at a different perspective. We've looked at an erroneous perspective for probably the length of time that our history has existed in our evolution. So humanity as we know it today, that evolution, we need to change that perspective because it's not working. Separation, anxiety through the separation, anger, wars, biases, prejudice, that has to change. That is not part of the new consciousness. We cannot take that with us. In fact, that must be left behind. So this is that evolution or movement towards that. And I believe with every full and new moon that we have, every equinox and solstice that we have, every eclipse that we have, every solar expulsion, like EMEs, and recognizing that we have, or CMEs, not EMEs, recognizing that we have these portals, these particular time periods where the energies are so open, allowing a portal or an opening between our world and our thought patterns to the higher thought patterns and divine. We get these opportunities to raise our consciousness, to shift our perspective. And I think it's becoming more and more important that we recognize this now. So I hope this helps. It's a lot. I'm sorry, that was a lot. I just bleh. But I just wanted to say anyways, if anything, this new moon is a very big one. And I encourage you to check out your astrological houses and where they fit from reputable astrologers. I listen to Pam Gregory. She's one of my favorites. But there's so many that I also do listen to. And I just say, you know what, check it out. See what's happening. See what's happening within the next few months as well, because there's some big things happening. We're heading into a very vastly changing and transformational time. And I believe that each and every message that will come through will be kind of collective, one on top of the other, cumulative. So having said that, if you would like, please like this video if you do, and subscribe to my channel as well. Go to my website, takebackyourpower.live, and subscribe to my free newsletter. And what this gives you is a channel message for the next week, as well as a card for the week. And it's been getting really interesting. So it's becoming sort of not prescriptive, but rather just kind of letting you know what's going on in the next week, and just giving you a heads up. So I kind of like, my guides are very, very important. My higher self is the one who's channeling, and basically it's getting real. So I hope this helps. I hope you have a wonderful new moon and portal. I'll probably be giving out a meditation as well, uploading a meditation for the Lionsgate portal, 8/8 portal. So watch for that, and we will see you in the next video.